up and no place to go.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is your Duke of Dope Discourse. You're hearing the show before you're seeing it. He's giving me a little sound check there. You're looking behind the curtain. Things are a little wacky here in the Raw Observatory. We're not quite up to speed yet. So, hey, you've got a little glimpse behind the curtain. And but that's okay. And you're looking at Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how are you today?
Well, Rob, I'm fine, but my car is not.
What
I've
happened?
told you. Well, somebody drove into my car while it was at a parking structure at my firm, so I wasn't even there. Got out, got my shift finished, wanted to go straight into my weekend. Then I find this little notice from the police saying, "Call the police. We have some information. Somebody drove into your car."
Well, so hang on a
Now I have
second.
to-
Hang on. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So somebody hit your car, and then
Yeah.
they call the police. Is that what happens in Germany? And then the police come
Exactly.
in? So they don't even
Exactly.
wait to talk to you.
No, because they couldn't. Of course, considering our firm, there are so many people working there. To find out who the car belongs to, it will be totally too much time, I would guess. So I think he drove into my car, called the police. The police did picked up this credentials, so now it has to go in exchange between us, considering the insurance. But it's all the shenanigans you have to do, drive to the car dealership, get the car fixed, all stuff you could easily avoid. How he did drive into my car, I have no idea. But
Well, Dieter,
this is how I did start my weekend.
I apologize for that. It's not what I would hope for you. We're having a heat wave here in the Southwest, so my car is intact, but it's hot. It's hot. It's entirely hot. Nothing I can do, buddy. But that doesn't mean that you and I can't talk physical media today. We can make ourselves feel better by talking about the movies that we don't really need, that we spend our money on.
But let me just first say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media.
Episode 70, bruh.
70.
70.
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
But we're talking about everything. Unbelievable, Rob. Number 70.
I mean, a show that was born out of COVID.
Out of COVID, exactly.
And
And
both had COVID.
Here we still are. We're still kicking, still collecting, and we both got COVID.
We
Exactly.
both got COVID.
A friend of mine has gotten it now. Everybody will probably at some point will have to deal with it.
So much for the effectiveness of that vaccine.
Yes.
I'm glad
So much for that.
glad I was armored up, but still, I mean, it's very funny. For every other thing that I've ever been vaccinated for, never got it. I've actually had four shots for COVID, didn't matter. Oh well. Hey,
But you got blood armor, Rob. At least you got.
I got
armor.
blood. So they say. If you read articles about, they don't know what the long-term effects of COVID are on the heart, and you never know.
No.
Whatever. Our world's going to hell in a handbasket. What can I say? The only thing it isn't is the 4K releases that get announced on a weekly basis. They might come out defective, and we might have to have a disc replacement program, but that doesn't matter. There's some great stuff. Great stuff. As a matter of fact, I will show it later. One of my very favorite teen films that is so much more than a teen film, that is rather obscure, has been announced for 4K this week, and at least Blu-ray, and I am extremely excited, but I'll tell you what that is later.
Okay. From my perspective, Rob, I don't know how we start, but I told you, when you watch movies, you learn something, I learned on Mutant Blast, dolphins are motherfuckers, We learned vegans taste better. And this week, Rob, I couldn't believe it. I learned that our evil empire is now interrogating and torturing children. You always find something.
You mean the Nazis, the Germans are?
No,
Oh, you
young
mean
Leia.
the Empire, the evil
Yeah,
Empire.
the evil Empire.
Oh, I
It's
thought
now
you were going to tell me
interrogating
about...
it's now interrogating and torturing, 10-year-olds because they have the knowledge, Rob, the knowledge about the rebel bases. Give us the rebel bases,
Here's the thing. Being tortured by the woman that actually had her kidnapped in the first place. Like, let me ask you a question, Dieter. So you're like Inquisitors, right? It's your job to find Force-sensitive people and former Jedi Knights. You've been doing it for 10 years. And as we've seen, pretty good. I mean, they go all the way to Tatooine, and they know where not only do they know where Force-sensitive people and former Jedis are, they know what restaurants they eat at. In the beginning of Kenobi, we see them walk into a restaurant. They know a Jedi's there on Tatooine. And as we know, if there's a bright center of the universe, you're on the planet that it's furthest from. But the Inquisitors know. So are you telling me, if there's an underground railroad for Force-sensitive people, that the Inquisitors haven't been able to find it in 10 years? And if they haven't found it in 10 years, one of them arranges for a young girl, a diplomat's daughter, which, that's not going to cause any problem, who's still apparently in the Imperial Senate, kidnaps a girl. She's kidnapped, and in a few days, obviously she stumbled across some underground railroad that the Inquisitors don't know about. And how is she supposed to know? I mean, it's not like she went on the underground path herself. She, discovered it. And now she's being tortured for information. I mean, if she was never kidnapped, she wouldn't even know what's going on. And what makes you think that she would have all of the answers? I mean, didn't the third sister? I mean, it was her plan. She knew that she was smoking Kenobi out. And by the way, there's only one place. Eventually, somebody's got to take young Leia back home, right?
I would guess. So.
I mean,
so she went from being bait to being a personal informant.
And I'm like, you'd think that no one knows that Reva organized her kidnapping. Why doesn't she just call up Bail Organa and go, yo, do you know anything about this Underground Railroad? Because if you do, we need to talk. And if you don't, we're going to kill your daughter. So you better figure something out. I've watched a lot of crime movies, a lot of kidnap thrillers. And I'll tell you, the Inquisitors are not very smart. I mean, you'd think they'd be smart. But, and now Obi-Wan Kenobi has had to rescue Leia twice in 2 episodes from 2 places, including an Imperial fortress. Gosh, where have we seen that before? Ben Kenobi mounting a rescue effort into an Imperial... Dude, I'm sorry, but the 4th episode of Kenobi was not good.
Yeah. It was... At least it was funny, not in a kind of... We want it to be funny. So, Rob, I'm a little bit disappointed on your end because you're at the media access shill, okay? Didn't you get the memo from Disney? I got the memo here from Disney.
Oh, you do?
You could have read it to us. Memo from Disney. From the studio that brought you to tears with the sequel trilogy comes our new and first foray into a galaxy far, far away and a new era of Star Wars comedy that will rival the holiday special. So please enjoy Obi-Wan Kenobi, filled with jokes and laughter, if you wanted to or not. Sincerely, the Mouse House. May the jokes be with you.
Really? They sent that to you, huh?
Yeah, memo.
Wow, that's too bad. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. If you juxtapose Obi-Wan Kenobi with the first episode of For All Mankind,
fortunately, didn't get to it yet, Rob.
let me just tell you, I don't think I've seen a nail biter. I mean, the last 30 minutes of that episode, I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, there is science fiction done correctly, but
there's only one episode out at the moment.
The antagonist of For All Mankind was actually physics itself, space itself. Was they wanted to. And they did it in such a brilliant way. They brought us up to speed with the main characters, what's going on. And they also reminded us that space will kill you. It is not a nice place. It is inhospitable to human life. And it will fuck you up. And I loved it for that. I thought it was great. Christian DeLorme, by the way, just sent us a super chat and said, supporting. Keep up the great work. Well, Christian, thank you. I very much appreciate that. But yeah, we've got some great programming. The Boys continues. This season's incredible. Unbelievable.
Episode great. Episode great.
So
will you start collecting dildos now, Rob?
Well, I start
1/6 scale. If you're starting collecting dildos, 1/6 scale.
Oh, 1/6 scale dildos. Well, if a company's gonna make that 6 scale cabinet with all the superhero dildos in it, I'll buy that. And but the one that Ashley had, the full scale strap on dildo that Ashley had, that's pretty cool too. You never know.
I've seen a much, Rob, but the Boys always can surprise you in every episode.
And what's really interesting is the Herogasm. I don't know if you've read the comics, but in the comics, one day a year or one weekend a year, Vought puts on for the Supes a superhero orgy.
Ooh.
And in the superhero orgy, it's called the Herogasm storyline, and in it, I can't even begin to tell you what goes on because it's so beyond the pale. They are doing the Herogasm this year, and now they can't possibly do it the way it's done in the comic. They can't. But it'll be interesting to see what they do, because in the comic, Soldier Boy is sleeping with Homelander because Homelander's like, I'll let you into the 7, but you have to sleep with me. Dude, I don't think they're going to go that direction. I mean, they could. You never know. I've heard that Anthony Starr's wife has said she will not watch the Herogasm episode with Anthony Starr. She's like, I can't. His own wife, Homelander's real wife in real life, will not watch the Herogasm episode of The Boys. So that, of course, leads me to even want to see it more.
Will this be the next episode?
I don't know. I mean, and in the Herogasm story, Black Noir molests Huey. I mean, in the comic, dude, the comic is so beyond the pale you can't even imagine.
Okay.
Mikey Lito sends in a chat and says, "For All Mankind was terrific. I'm very happy you clued us in that was running. You're absolutely right. The first episode was spellbinding. It really was. I mean, what's really interesting about For All Mankind is even the opening, because we're 10 years later, even the opening montage. I mean, I never would have thought that presidential candidate Gary Hart, who was actually a great candidate, but, he had some shenanigans on a boat with a lady, never became president. But in this world, he did. And or he's going to. I think he did. He's running for a second term. And it's amazing that they brought up Gary Hart. I absolutely couldn't. That was amazing to me that they brought that up. James Wheeler asks, have either of us seen a Bella Tarr movie? Tomorrow I'll be receiving Satatango. Satatango. I don't believe I have. I think I might have, but I'm not. Right off the bat, I couldn't tell you.
Me neither.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know what falls into that.
But Satan Tango or Satan, how would you pronounce that? Satan and Tango is one word.
I don't know.
So yeah, Tango. I would watch that just because the title alone. Keep me. Yes, I'm in. And Justin Toner says.
Tango.
Justin Toner says, "Hi, Rob and Dieter. This week I picked up 4Ks of Dune and John Carpenter's The Thing at my local Best Buy. Both only $13. I have followed in Dieter's footsteps, and I've become a Schnäppchen hunter." I haven't. Have you got any Schnäppchens lately, Dieter?
This week, not really, Rob, because they are all practically new releases, so full price, Rob. Full price.
I only got 2 new releases this week. I'll just get off and I can't find for a few dollars more, but I did get the Kino Lorber. I don't know why they were delayed.
Me too, Rob. Me too.
I got
this was actually, Rob, a little bit of a Schnäppchen because I waited until the price dropped to $20.
Oh, nice.
And I watched it this afternoon. Really nice transfer. From my perspective, really had a good time with it. With the movie.
Yeah, I mean, Kino Lorber's. I wish that these had UHD on them, but they don't. But I'm just happy to get them in 4K. They are nice transfers.
You mean HDR and Dolby Vision?
Yeah. HDR and Dolby Vision.
I got this too.
So they came in, which I was very, very pleased about. So yeah, it's always good to get. I mean, you can get Schnäppchens all over the place now. It's crazy, especially if you're looking for 4K discs. So, yeah, do you want to regale us with the live chat from last week?
Okay, just one thing, Rob. I forgot last week. Shelby Oaks is in the can. It's wrapped. His production.
It is.
Chris Stuckman's movie is in the can. Now he will, of course, have to do post-production, but the movie is done. It was already done in the last weekend, so they stick to their 4-week schedule. Seems go as planned.
I think it's amazing that he ran his crowdfunding campaign, had the movie ready to go, shot it, now it's in the can. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be done for 6 months, but it's great. Congratulations to Chris Stuckman.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now he has to go to post-production, and we'll see what's come out of it.
Yeah.
So, previously on Let's Get Physical Media, and we start off, Rob, you can help out immediately. Anyone seen Jurassic World Dominion yet? Bill Barkley from Bill Barkley. Anyone seen Jurassic World Dominion yet? I have. It's great. Well, Bill, I hear nothing so good things about it. Rob, what's the box office? How did it do?
That is a good. Let me see.
Even with the low Rotten Tomatoes score.
It's funny because I don't think that there's been a a blockbuster film I'm less interested in now.
But you haven't seen it either, Rob.
I have not. I did not go see it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Jurassic World Dominion roars. Well, this is pretty good. To 389 million worldwide, as Top Gun Maverick soars to 747 million, which is an enormous sum of money for that movie. Big action at the global international box office this weekend as Universal Amblin Entertainment's Jurassic World Dominion put its Dino print into an additional 57 overseas markets, and along with the last weekend holdovers, grossed an estimated 177 million to lift the offshore cume. So it's made foreign 245.8 million through Sunday. With the threequels stomping domestic bow, the global tally has now reached a toothy 389.1 million. Remember, it opened in some foreign markets a week ago.
Yeah,
but this is its first weekend. Yeah. And Top Gun Maverick crossed 750 million with now it's at 747 if you're a plane fanatic through today, that's just an incredible. Yeah. I mean, it's almost reached 400 million domestically, which is just enormous. So, and Jurassic World did open in China.
Okay.
It opened in China for the biggest Hollywood opening in the Middle Kingdom this year. So 20% of cinemas remain closed in China, so that's a very good number. So Jurassic World Dominion is a big hit. So there you go.
The second weekend will be crucial.
Yeah.
To see how the drop will if the movie will hold up. But Bill, no one of us has seen it. So if you had a great time, awesome. Rogue Finger. So Crimes of the Future was more about concepts and less about story. And Secker said, to be fair, most Cronenberg's movies are pretty cold and distant. Like you explained, you were a little bit on the outside, considering Crimes of the Future. And we talked a little bit about RRR, and I said it only made worldwide $100 million. So the Hollywood movies don't travel internationally yet. And Markus Bismar said, to be fair, other than anime, no foreign movie cracked up international box office lately. Yeah, you're right, Markus, but I was just expecting, considering RRR came always up in conversations, I would just have thought it would have made more. Tim Hens.
Yeah. Well, I think, the thing about it is there's really virtually no marketing. I mean, I think that RRR could have been picked up by a major distributor here, but they, we are amongst our many prejudices in the United States, we are prejudiced against films from India, unfortunately. And I think that I believe that there is a market for Bollywood movies, but it would have to be created. Americans have no clue. We don't know. But I think that if somebody wanted to push a Bollywood movie, and I know that RRR is a Tollywood movie. It's not Hindi. It's a different language, and I forget what language it is. But that's been a thing that what language do you watch it in? But I think that RRR could have been the movie that somebody could have mounted a great advertising campaign for and maybe had it broken through. But as it stands now, the people that discover it is definitely an American cult film. So,
yeah. But it's not only in the US, Rob. I think even globally, considering distribution, there is lacking, considering a movie like RRR.
Yep.
Okay. Tim Hens eventually got to watch Top Gun 2 on Friday. Much better than the original movie. Okay?
Yeah.
And Victor Fontaine, word of mouth for Top Gun Maverick is really good. And that's what it's all about. Let's see how Jurassic World Dominion will hold up. Our moderator was in the live chat, as always. Justin Toner. Wow, did I cancel the pre-order? Shocking. Yeah, Justin, I canceled Fantastic Beasts because the movie was just lacking the main ingredient, movie magic. Movie magic was unfortunately
a movie about magic that wasn't magical.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. Rogue Finger. Just wondering if you could have any of the physical media companies come out with a movie or TV series you love. Which company would it be? What movie or TV series? And what physical format? So I'm using Rob's initiation and say For All Mankind on 4K. Studio, considering 4K, I don't know. It's from Apple. So which studio, Rob? Do we choose?
Well, I'd like to go for probably. I mean, they would never do it, but somebody like Second Sight. I love Second Sight. But if you had to go a different way, I mean, Second Sight would give it the kind of packaging that I think it deserves. You'd get a big, extensive book, and of course, Criterion as well. I don't know if any Apple. No, I don't think any of the Apple shows are available in physical media.
No, I don't think so, Rob.
I don't think so. But
not the movie. Not the movie with Tom Hanks. Help me. Greyhound,
a Greyhound.
Like that. Yeah, it's not available. So unfortunately, like you said, none of them. Not Ted Lasso. No, unfortunately not.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd be curious to see what they would do. I could see them going the Criterion route, though, but maybe not. I mean, maybe Criterion wouldn't, or starting their own physical release or something.
Yeah. And considering For All Mankind and Star Trek Strange New Worlds, we also have Movies Maniac 96 in the live chat. The Orville, so good. And Will Smith, but with a C. Orwell is meh. So two different reviews. But for my take, I watched finally the first two episodes. Totally enjoyed it, I have to say.
I did
Even
too.
if the Orwell has a little bit switched, considering when I remember the beginning, it was more a little bit strongly a parody with some raunchy comedy. But the raunchy comedy really got a step back. No, it's really even more a Star Trek ripoff than it was.
Turned into the Star Trek show that it's always wanted to be. So it's
And I totally love the second episode, Rob, with the creature design.
Yeah,
totally had a good time with the second episode from the Orville. Considering Obi-Wan, we talked already about it, but Tim Hens, just go around or over the fucking laser barrier. It's lovable, considering episode 3. And Marcus Bismarck, I feel this Obi-Wan series will not have much legacy. Right? Then, Kenneth Grayley Jr. Rob, I like you and respect the heck out of you, but not everything new Star Wars is bad, at least for me. But to understand where you're coming from a little bit, me, I enjoy Star Wars all equally. Right?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Tom Jr. Jackson. I'm not a fan of the show The Boys. I couldn't get into it. And Justin Toner. Not that interested in The Boys either. Haven't watched it. even if you two are moderators, are you trolling? Even you can't put everything in the live chat, especially not that you don't watching The Boys.
The
Come on.
Boys is jaw dropping. The Boys, I mean,
Exactly.
is, you know, somebody said to me that The Boys, in tone, it's a lot like Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop. If Paul Verhoeven directed and with the satire, the social satire, and the violence, and and the third season of The Boys is by far its best season. The storytelling, the villain, I mean, Homelander, there's not a scarier villain on TV. The Boys is, I think, is a masterpiece. And it's, it might not seem your speed, but I guarantee you, once you start watching it, you will not stop.
For me, I think you can immediately tell if the show will be to your liking just from the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Because the tone of the show will stay consistent from my
and I have to say, I've never seen the first episode of the third season was beyond the pale. I've never seen anything. I couldn't even believe that was on TV. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I was, jaw-dropping. Really jaw-dropping. And Kenneth Grayley Jr. Furthered his comments. Rob, are you trying to compare the new Star Wars shows TV writing to sometimes the so-so writing on the CW shows? I personally don't think the writing is that bad in the shows. So I don't know, Kenneth, if you mean the CW shows or the Star Wars. But I mean, considering the new Star Wars is probably below the CW
I mean, the
shows.
thing here's what I find interesting. I don't have a problem with anybody liking modern Star Wars. I'm not. I don't have a problem. But when you look at the other kinds of television that's on, whether it's Better Call Saul, whether it's For All Mankind, whether it's Ted Lasso, take your pick. We have incredible writing on a lot of our shows. There's incredibly well-written shows. Of all the stories that they could tell us about Obi-Wan Kenobi. So here's the thing. People's love of Star Wars blinds them from objectively looking at whether or not something is actually well-written. And I judge everything equally. I judge everything, is this well-written? Is this the story that you want to tell? And are you telling me that Obi-Wan Kenobi, let's take it out of the Star Wars universe for a minute, right? Forget that it's a Star Wars movie. Here's a man that 10 years previously utterly failed. Everything that he stood for, they failed. Call him a knight. The knights failed. They didn't see the rise of the very evil they were sworn to protect rise amongst them. Our main character, he had one job. He was training his Padawan or his apprentice. He was training his apprentice in the ways of these knights. He failed. He failed so utterly, and his order failed so utterly that he has nothing left but for 10 years has been in self-imposed exile. Now, this is the beginnings of a really interesting story. How does that man find redemption? Why does he have to meet other characters that we've seen before? Why can't you tell a story that's all new? You know, and I think that of all the stories they could tell, the story that they are offering to us is slipshod, it is lazy, it is uninteresting, and more importantly, it's not even about our central character. It's not about that man. That man has been sent on his way from someone else, you know, and all of the machinations of the plot, what's actually happening is not really about him. And that's what I find so strange about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's a series that is giving short shrift to the main character and the main character's plight. And I know people say, "Well, Rob, he's getting redeemed for the things that he." I'm like, he's really not, because what's happening to him is your standard "let's go rescue the princess" plot. That plot doesn't have anything to do with where he's at as a human being, as an individual. He's not suffering from PTSD. He's suffering from survivor's guilt. And the fact that he was a schmuck. The Jedis were all schmucks. You know, they allowed this great evil to grow amongst them and to seduce one of their own. And then that great evil eliminated the entire Jedi Order, aside from a few stragglers. I mean, no one has failed like the Jedi failed. They failed. They were terrible at their jobs. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, who, how do you come back from that? Oh, well, please go rescue Princess Leia. I mean, I find it striking to me that you've got Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. Wouldn't it have been interesting to tell a story about juxtaposing the two of them, where Obi-Wan is as opposed to where Vader is, and sort of shown how both men, where they're at in their lives, and they're on a collision course to eventually meet. Even when they finally meet, it's like, what? There's some fire in the street. You can't like go around it. It's whatever. I mean, I don't mean, and I don't begrudge. I mean, people that enjoy new Star Wars. That's fine. But what you should do, great writing is great writing. Don't judge things based on whether or not you like the franchise. Try and look at the writing overall and judge it objectively. That's all I would say. And I think the story that they're serving up for Obi-Wan Kenobi does a disservice to the franchise and the character.
There you go.
That doesn't mean other people can't like it, but we should demand better. We deserve better.
I was on the same boat as you. I was considering before the show started, expecting flashbacks with Hayden Christensen, you know.
Yeah.
But okay, there we go. Two episodes left. We'll see where we're heading. Tim Hens, not all Disney Star Wars is bad. Rogue One is really entertaining.
Yep, I like Rogue One. And I think, by the way, I think the Andor series, the upcoming Andor series, is going to be by far, if I were to make a prediction, by far the best Star Wars series, if only because of the pedigree of the writing staff.
Okay. When will Andor come out?
August. Comes out in August.
Okay. Kenneth Crayley Jr. again. Rob, quick question. Why do you think TV shows look way better on Blu-ray disc rather how they're broadcast on the networks, picture quality-wise? For me, Kenneth Crayley, unfortunately, not that many TV stuff gets released this day on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, obviously, there's compression everywhere, but there is less compression on Blu-ray or 4K than there is on when you're watching it broadcast-wise. And you're getting you're just getting a better. I mean, in a nutshell, you're getting. First of all, you're looking at a file. you're looking at directly looking at a file, and the biggest place where it shines is the audio, because the audio that we get is very compressed.
Yeah. Marcus Bismarck. My hot takes. I think Carl Urban gives the best performance in The Boys. Marcus Bismarck, this is not a hot take. I'm with you on that. Front.
He's fantastic.
Fantastic. Totally. Kenneth Crayley Jr., The Boys Season 3, great so far. Michael Lido, which is more gory, The Boys or Invincible? Both from Amazon, by the way. For me, Michael Lido, I would have to go with The Boys just because it's live action.
Yeah.
Instead of
The Boys has the greatest gore effects ever put on film.
Yeah.
No one. I mean, they're the most disturbing. When what's her face takes out the lower jaw. I mean, the gore effects on The Boys are unparalleled in the history of all cinema.
And Sega said, Gore, that's the only selling point. No, Sega, but it's one selling point combined with the great story that The Boys are telling.
Yeah, I mean, the complexity of this season and all the different narrative threads, I mean, they're great. I'm sure, look, The Boys isn't for everybody. The Boys is for a particular sensibility, sensibility. I mean, you and I, Dieter, it's right up our
sicko sensibility.
I mean, you have to, and I'll tell you something. There's a lot of people. I mean, the sexuality of the show is really off-putting to people. It is definitely out there.
Yeah, totally. But that's what's great. What the show, what The Boys is about, and every episode was almost an hour now from the episodes that we got, which is great too. BCH, I'll wait until the show is done to judge if it's better than the comic. Right now, I don't agree that it is. Okay. Victor Fontaine, over the top gore gets boring after a while. I actually got bored with it in the Suicide Squad. Victor, gore never gets boring if it's done right.
And also, it's not like The Boys is a gore fest.
No,
I mean, the Boys is
just has those nice, highlights here and there. And considering, Rob, we have seen a lot. The Boys always surprises us, considering in that area,
you know what? It takes a lot to shock me. You and I have seen it all, and the Boys has shown me things I've never seen before.
Sweet.
They've shown me things I didn't even know I wanted to see. And they've shown me things I can't unsee.
But that's great thing. That's great, Rob. If you can remember stuff about something, that's always a good point. Tony Pearson, I can imagine the upcoming season 5 of Cobra 5 beating the competition out of the final season of Picard. Come on, Tony. You have a black belt series and then a white belt series. Let's not get into the comparison between the two. Bill Barclay, anyone seen Netflix movie Interceptor yet? I have not, Rob. Have you seen Interceptor?
No, that stars Elsa Pataki, Chris Hemsworth's wife. She starred. She was in a few of the Fast and the Furious movies. She worked for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, starting in Fast 5. But people like it. Not. The trailer didn't look so good to me, so I haven't. I was like, you'd love it.
Okay. Okay. It is in the watch list like so many other titles are. Haunted Autumn. Love Ty West. Really enjoyed X, but prefer Innkeepers and House of the Devil. Great Haunted, because these are two other great recommendations from Ty West, Innkeepers and House of the Devil, and In the Valley of Violence, his Western that he did. I totally dug too. A Geek of One, X. No, sorry, X. Was way too predictable. I was always a few seconds ahead of every kill. Great atmosphere, but West telegraphs every kill to sheer bottom. A Geek of One. So you really did see a kill coming? Come on. That's of course you'd see a kill coming. You want to kill. And Haunted Autumn came back. X does have Jenny Ortega delivering, in his opinion, the best scream in any horror film. That's a good thing. Eucalyptus, Enter the Void is porn, he says.
It is?
Sega answered, which you asked me, Rob, is Enter the Void 4K? I'd like to buy that, but I'm wondering if Arrow is going to release it again on 4K.
I don't even know if they can make Enter the Void in 4K. They'd have to do it ups because the way it was shot, the way it was done, the effects were done. I think it's going to always exist as a 2K film.
It's a 2K.
Maybe they could do an upscale. I don't know. Yep. Not sure. I love Enter the Void. I'd love to get.
So I hope they don't release a 4K of it. C-Chef C for Life, considering Obi-Wan, these shows are for kids who aren't supposed to think about stuff making sense. Exactly, but are kids still into Star Wars these days? That's the other question.
That's a good question. But I don't like when I hear that, because when you go back and look at Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, they hold up. And, while George Lucas would say, well, I made these movies for kids. And I think that, I think he made Star Wars and Empire for the kid in all of us. And they still work. And I think, for me, I judge everything by Star Wars and by Empire Strikes Back. That's the bar. And you either meet that bar or you don't. And so far, Rogue One kind of came close, but I don't think anything else has.
Anything else has? Okay.
In live
action. Bill Barclay. Did he say Star Wars Strange New Worlds? Yes, I believe Bill Barclay, Rob, did last week, because we talk about this and this. Sometimes you get confused, and sometimes it's Star Wars Strange New Worlds. Rex Smith, considering Stranger Things, Rob, did you finish the show?
Yeah.
or the first
Well, yeah,
volume.
yeah.
Your take on the whole
I really,
first
you know what?
volume?
I've really enjoyed this season of Strange New Worlds a great deal. I thought it's.
I think Stranger Things, bro. Stranger Things.
Oh, did I say Strange?
Stranger.
Wow.
But
No, I thoroughly enjoyed
awesome.
Stranger Things. Again, great character
Were
studies.
you ahead of the show, Rob? Did you found out earlier? Had you some sort of?
Let me just say that I would say that I suspected. I didn't know how it all worked. I knew the revelation that came. I'm like, I was waiting for something there. I just didn't know what the connection was. But I liked the revelation, and I look forward to. You know what? I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to Stranger Things, I'm really curious if we're going to find out where did the Upside Down come from. You know, why does the Upside Down even exist?
Yeah.
And people always ask, well, Rob, you don't need to know, but I'm like, it's so specific. Like the Upside Down is so specific that I want to know. Like, it seems to me like if the Upside Down is if it's analogous to if our world, if our entire planet is represented in the Upside Down, like what's in Japan? What's in the Japanese? When you go to Japan and if you were to have a plane, if you could get a plane into the Upside Down and fly throughout the world, what would it be like if you went to Africa? Is there a bunch of demigorgons in Africa? Is there and that's the thing when I watch some of these things, I ask myself these questions. It doesn't interfere with my love of the show, but I still am like, I wish that people could answer that question for me. Like, do you have a reason? Like, where did it just coexisted with our world forever? Well, why is it the way it is? Like, is there some kind of intelligent design, or is it just hell? Like, what is it? And I'm getting to the point where, and if it does exist, why is it that only certain people have found it? Why the people in Harkins and why the Russians? They're the only people, and since the humanity existed on this planet, they're the only people that have been. And if that's the case, why are there things like swing sets in the Upside Down? Did someone go to the hardware store and buy them? So, like, if you build a house here in our world, does that house just instantaneously materialize in the Upside Down? Or are there construction workers in the Upside Down that build these things? And I know this seems strange to say, but when I'm
it's very Clerks now, Rob.
but when I'm watching the show, I'm like, I'm asking, because I think that if you're going to create a world, like here's the thing I would say to all writers: if you are going to create some supernatural realm that has specificity to it, like certain houses exist in both places, you really have to have an answer as to why. Like, why, if you have paved roads, we know that there are paved roads in the Upside Down. Why? Why are there paved roads in the Upside Down? Like, where was the schism between our world and the Upside Down world? How can there be paved roads? And if there are paved roads, does that mean there's freeways? Like, we only see little glimpses of the Upside Down, but clearly the implication is that our entire world is duplicated in the Upside Down. And if that's the case, why did that happen? And some people would say, well, Rob, who cares? It's just, but I want to know. I need to know. Even when you're talking about the supernatural, like, hey, if you want the Cenobites to come in Hellraiser, you have to open the Lament configuration. You have to have they can't just show up. You know, and there's Leviathan, and we've seen Hell and all that. There's rules. So I want to know what the rules of the Upside Down are, other than the fact that you open your portal, or, you know, I know I'm belaboring this point, and people are probably tuning out because this show is not about this. But hey, what can I tell you? There you go,
people. Clerks 3 here live on the show. But Rex Smith said, considering Stranger Things, that was the live chat it was all about. Episode 4 is still one of the best episodes I've seen of a show this year by far. The fourth one was with Sadie Smith as Max when she was
it was incredible.
At the brink of dying. Yeah, brink of dying. Gary Benjo Sandwich Worthington Bring back whining, Rob. Now new TV and sound system, please. Bring
We
back
are.
whining.
Whining About Movies is coming back. And by the way, I'm about to seal up the observatory. I've needed to have the garage so I can get in and out, but everything is in. So I'm going to seal up the garage, and the observatory will be whole. And we'll probably start whining about movies. I keep saying it, but next week.
Okay, there you go. ABSH 38412. Considering Rob told us pop culture has a shelf life of 20 years, my nephew is 20 and told me he saw this really old movie called The Matrix. And then,
see that what's so interesting to me is I guess what I find so strange about that is, like, when I was a kid and home video first existed, it's not strange. Movies just don't hold the place in culture, specifically for young people, that they did in, like, the way they were in our lives. I mean, movies were the defining art form of the 20th century. And nowadays, as far as young people are concerned, movies are things that people go to experience, but they're not things that people contemplate. I mean, you and I would watch movies over and over and over again. We had home video, and we would do deep dives into them and collect them. Young people today don't have that relationship. And I'm not saying this about everybody. So if you're a young person and, well, Rob, I feel this way, I'm sorry, but movies just aren't the same. They're not regarded in the same way by younger people as they were 20 years ago. And that is bared out by somebody not knowing what The Matrix is.
Yeah.
Because why would they?
Why would they? Considering our nice movie from last week, Rob, Martyrs.
Oh, look at that.
Crowley Fields, Martyrs is a classic. The twist is the best. And then, let me just see there.
I think Martyrs is a masterpiece.
Jared Snyder, not a first date movie.
No.
And Kinky Swingter wants to know, dude, Dieter, where you get that Martyrs. It's from an Austrian ordering service, but it doesn't come with English subtitles, so Kinky, unfortunately, would probably be useless to you. And Crowley Fields came back and said, Martyrs introduced me to the French extremity films, understandably so. Bill
Frontiers,
said,
and Inside.
And High Tension, no. And Bill Barclay said, Drive isn't that the Mark Dacascos movie? That is the other Drive movie, which will come out in 4K this year, Bill. Can you believe it? Chris Smith, where did you get the shirt, Dieter? Consider my Cobra Kai shirt. Chris, there's the magical invention called the internet. Just go on Amazon.com, Cobra Kai t-shirt. You will find it there. I'm pretty sure about it. And here's a super chat, Rob, that came in even before we started the show from David C., who wrote a nice letter last week. And he said, wish I'd heard your movie date advice sooner. I had an awkward experience after a tragic misreading of the trailer for The Green Knight. So he probably used The Green Knight as a date movie, which David C. is perhaps like you.
Hey, you know what? If you took a date to The Green Knight and they didn't like it, she's not the girl for you or the guy for you. I don't want to make any assumptions.
Exactly. That was the live chat, Rob, from last week.
By the way, we Chris C. writes in and says, hey, guys, how is the 4K transfer of Superman 78? Any issues? Well, interesting question. Superman was made in 78, and along with Close Encounters, I really love the 4K versions of them, but you have to understand they're all over the place in terms of picture quality. Superman was shot very specifically by Jeffrey Unsworth using lots of filtration and things like that. So there's a lot of scenes where it's soft. It doesn't have the kind of sharpness that you would expect. That was intentional. That was artistic intention. And there are people that object to the various sound mixes. But if memory serves, the 4K disc, it's funny because I have it right over there. I've been organizing my 4K discs. Yep. I think it has some of the original sound mix, not just the new 5.1 remaster. And then 200 Watt Studio says, getting my Bridge on the River Kwai 4K Steelbook today. Yes, I have mine coming. I don't have it yet to show. I can't wait to get it, which is great. And Kevin Wellborn has been a member, an Imagination Connoisseur, for 3 months. So thank
Nice.
you for that.
Okay. Should I show something, Rob?
Well,
Some title.
yes.
So a little bit physical media, I would say. Okay. First, I watched this week. I watched Ray Donovan, the movie, which is the movie exactly, which closed out the show. It was a fine close for the show, not perhaps the epic showdown that everyone wants, considering a show final, but it was nice. Then finally I did get around to it, and I did show the US version. Totally forgot I ordered the UK version too. Really had a fun time with the movie, and this is how you do meandering right. I watched Licorice Pizza, and this is the UK one, which is the cover is a little bit different here, and it comes with some lobby cards.
Oh, that's nice.
One. So 4 lobby cards. Rob, have you seen Licorice Pizza?
Yeah, I really loved it.
Yeah, me too. Great hangout movie. Like
very much so.
Would say. And I've seen, Rob, some YouTube reviews about it, where someone was taken offensive of some of the stuff that was in it. But for me, he didn't throw
What, because of the relationship, because of a young girl or a boy with an older woman?
That was one, Rob, and the other one was, of course, with the Japanese stuff. But he didn't throw in the account at all that the movie is playing 1973. Okay.
Well, it's funny. I don't understand. Like, when I was growing up, people used the word Oriental. We would say Oriental here. Now that you can't say that, it's somehow offensive. I understand that. I totally get that. But like you said, times change. So when people hear things, it's like, guys, it would be like now if you made a movie set in if it's 12 Years a Slave. You know what? I found the violence in 12 Years a Slave too extreme for me. I just, it's like, come on, man, this happened. This is the way it was. You can't. It's bizarre to me to think that people expect their entertainment that's set in the past would somehow not be somehow
reflect the modern.
It's so weird.
Statements.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah. Like I said, had a nice time with Licorice Pizza. The first one, Rob, I'm still hoping we will get a third one, considering the franchise. I got those.
Look at that.
4Ks.
Nice.
From Shout Factory. It's always great when, I don't know why Universal didn't put them out themselves, but Shout Factory came out with the 4Ks.
Look, the studios, they are disinterested in putting out their films on physical media. They don't want to do it anymore. All of their movies now, they consider they should go right to their streaming services, and Universal has Peacock. And so Shout Factory will put it out.
Yeah. But I'm still hoping, perhaps, at some point, we will get a third one. Totally love both movies. Happy Death Day 1 and 2 is 4K. And then yesterday, a second sighting for me. I watched it in theater. And yesterday, the movie picked up a little when I watched it at home. The Northman.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm waiting for mine, too.
4K.
How is the disc quality? It must be amazing.
Yeah, awesome. And it comes with nice bonus features, actually, Rob. It's about almost 50 minutes to an hour.
Nice.
And an audio commentary from Robert Eggers. So really get something out of it. So the Northman. And the deleted scenes are on it too. The Northman in 4K. Unfortunately, not a big box office draw, a flop from this year. And the next one, I didn't even know, Rob, why couldn't they put that out immediately? Malignant.
Yeah, I don't know why it took so long.
Yeah. But
have you
now it's out.
Have you looked at it? Does it look good?
Unfortunately not yet, Rob. But we both had a great time last year with Malignant. Okay, that was a first little haul from my perspective, Rob.
Mr. 47 asks, where do you personally buy replacement cases if you order a 4K Blu-ray disc and the case comes damaged? It's the worst feeling. There are places online, I've started Amazon, but, like I like to get my 4K discs in black, but you got to look. Sometimes you can find places that sell them, but you have to buy them in bulk, but they are online. Things are available online to find. Sometimes it's just hard to find individual sets.
Especially the 4 cases are, perhaps you have to look a little bit deeper into it.
Yes.
Especially if you want, like Rob said, the black one with that come with the 4K Ultra HD logo at the top of it.
Yeah, Adam from Fan Pops says, "Hey Rob, do you think Netflix would ever release some of their bigger titles on physical media? I would buy a box set of Stranger Things. They have released Stranger Things on various video on forms in the past. It could be another untapped revenue stream for them. I would imagine that Netflix is looking into all untapped revenue streams now, especially with their stock price. Stranger Things has been released in various formats, but I would love to get a box set. And by the way, if you know what the tuna train is, I'm not saying what the tuna train is, but if you know what the tuna train is, they may have Netflix shows available on physical media. I'm just saying, far be it for me to say anything other than just be cryptic. Stub McShave says, either writers on Kenobi are incompetent or intentionally sabotaging the series of legacy characters. Both Kenobi and Boba Fett had bad writing. It seems to me they decided on a boardroom to do a Leia story. When creators aren't passionate about a story, they fail. Well, Stubble, obviously, I trust Stubble's understanding. Stubble is a reader, and he knows what a good story is. And I don't think they want these things to fail. Nobody sets out to make things that are bad. But I do think that Disney's corporate interests, which, remember, oversee all of this, have been detrimental to Star Wars. Not Kathleen Kennedy, but Disney's corporate interests. And it's very interesting. Disney's trying to figure out why their very expensive Star Wars hotel experience has failed. And they're asking people that have gone on it or who've spent all the money why they were dissatisfied. And I find it interesting that here's what I would say is the Star Wars sequels, whether you like them or not, like modern Star Trek, like Discovery, have failed to capture the zeitgeist the way Star Wars itself has. And if you look at the shows that people like right now, let's look at them. Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi. We've got Andor coming, which is a Rogue One prequel series. They're all from the same era of Star Wars. And yet Disney really doubled down. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, that's at Disneyland and Disney World, is a Disney sequel era attraction that they're slowly injecting classic Star Wars into. The new Star Wars Hotel, again, leaned heavily into their the sequel series. I think Rise of the Resistance, which is a sequel era ride, is probably one of the great rides of all time. But the sequel series that Disney created, no one likes it. I mean, there are people that, I loved Rey and I loved Kylo Ren. They were copies of what Star Wars was. Star Wars is really from one era. You can play Knights of the Old Republic and all that, but really, like with Star Trek, they always go back to Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. They shouldn't, but they do. I mean, it's a bizarre thing, and I don't understand. They want to write these legacy characters, but I don't think they know how. I mean, Boba Fett was an embarrassment, and Kenobi is fine, but it's not great, and it's doing a disservice, I think, to the character. Willow Yang, the lovely Willow Yang. Willow, I haven't heard from you in a while. It's good to hear from you. I hope all's well. I know you're working your ass off. How's that going? While I didn't hate the Obi-Wan series, it has been a pretty big letdown thus far. Seriously, is there an army more incompetent than the Stormtroopers?
The slap on the helmet.
The scene of Tala slapping the Stormtroopers in the last episode was hilariously terrible. Willow, I'm perplexed by the awfulness of some of this show. And Reva fighting a T-47, airspeeder. She's like, it's just, who looks at this stuff? Like, I don't understand. It's so weird to me with all of the production artwork they have. Why we get these cringe moments are beyond me. I don't get it. Fernando Barrero. Hello, Fernando. Hi, gentlemen. My mom says hello. Well, I'm glad your mom is doing well. Hello, R&B, and doing well. Thank you. Last week, you guys missed my super chat. We did, but no big deal. Okay. Saw Jurassic Park Dominion last night. The audience and I enjoyed it due to nostalgia. Should I order Top Gun 2? Should I order the Top Gun 2 movie set or Top Gun Maverick Steelbook? Ooh, well, depends what you already own. I mean, I have the Top Gun Steelbook. I got to get the Top Gun Maverick Steelbook, which is going to be an incredible disc. I cannot wait. Yeah.
But I love the cover from the 2 movies, Rob.
I know.
Where Tom is in the middle, and you have the original on the left and the new one.
Yeah,
on the right.
I guess it's really a great preference. It's a great cover.
Yeah.
You got to get what you like. So we've got some pretty interesting disc news that came out this week.
Okay.
Now, I talked about this movie from before that's finally coming out in high def, The Chocolate War, directed by Keith Gordon. This is based on Robert Cormier's novel. And if you have never seen this film, it's a fantastic. It's very low budget. It's one of the only movies that Jenny Wright stars in, Jenny Wright from Near Dark. I love this movie, and it's basically about a chocolate sale at a Catholic high school, but it is about so much more. And Wally Ward, who you might remember as playing a secondary character in the CSI franchise, is fantastic as the villain in this movie. And Doug Hutchinson is in this film, who was Toombs in The X-Files and who married like a 16-year-old. That's what he's known for lately, but he is great in this film. I love this movie. I never thought it would ever come out on Blu-ray, but it is coming out. Very, very excited about this. It's a fantastic film if you have not seen it, and it has a great, great music score. Then we have Kino Lorber is continuing to put out Stanley Kubrick's early work. This is not only one of Kubrick's best films, it's one of the best war movies ever made. Kirk Douglas in Paths of Glory. It is a fantastic, fantastic movie. And here's something else that that's kind of fun. The Full Moon movie Trancers, starring Tim Thomerson as Jack Death, is coming out in 4K. I mean, this is an Empire movie. It came out in the 80s. I was actually on the set of Trancers 2 and went to the wrap party and met Helen Hunt and played pool with her. But it's fun to see this coming out in 4K. I hope more Empire movies come out, more Full Moon movies come out. Of course, this is not unexpected, but Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is coming out. And what's cool about this is it does have a Sam Raimi commentary on it. A lot of the Marvel movies, have not had commentary. And then finally, I think the announcement of the week goes to Michael Mann's Heat. Here's the Steelbook coming out in August in 4K. Although something gave me pause. If you look at this cover, it says on the bottom below the title, Director's Definitive Edition. Michael Mann likes to mess around with his movies. I don't know, on home video, I don't know what this means. I am hoping, Dieter, that it means that it's the definitive edition and that he hasn't messed it up or messed around with it too much, because that would be a bummer.
Fingers crossed.
Coming out in 4K. But you know what? Again, I would say that we're again an embarrassment of riches. Yeah. And I'm excited. There's a lot more stuff, coming out, but we're getting a lot of these legacy titles and finally things that, the Chocolate War is a movie that I have on DVD, and there's nothing I love more than taking a DVD off my shelf and replacing it with a Blu-ray or a 4K. Good riddance.
Exactly, Rob.
I am glad to see that happen. Jordan
nice.
Sailor says, I think you might have missed a super chat, Rob. Yeah. I might have, Dieter. Because I had a little snafu.
I can't go that far back.
Yeah, I can't either. Jordan, if I missed one of your super chats, just throw it in the live chat and we'll read it. Yeah, I had a little. There's crazy things going on. I can see tips, but not super chats. It's weird. Stream Elements has been very strange with YouTube, so it's they don't let me see things sometimes. Sometimes they just disappear.
Oh, there I have it, Rob. There I have it.
Go ahead and read
it. I just watched the 3-hour and 8-minute TV version of Superman, the movie. I prefer the theatrical version, but I am glad this version exists. Seeing more Chris Reeve Superman is always a good thing.
Yeah, you know,
So
that's the I don't know if you have is that the Warner Archive disc that you watch, because there's a lot of goofy stuff in that. I mean, even I'll say it. There's a lot of goofy stuff. Yeah, Mike Alito says Stream Elements has been bad. Don't sugarcoat it. Yeah, Stream Elements has been terrible for us on the John Campea show. I don't know what has happened to Stream Elements. I don't know if it's not connecting.
But it was a great platform, Rob, considering sending tips.
Yeah, well, I can still see people sending tips, but I can't see super chats were there. I'm not seeing super chats. It is clearly not linking to YouTube, and I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why. Colt says, by the way, when is Rob going to do another Robservations? Look like he's doing 1 or 2 a month. I'm going to get back to doing Robservations every day starting this week. It's just been I've been very discombobulated with the move and things like that. So I will get back to it. So
back on track.
Wait, is Stream Elements invite only now? Is that true? Is that what you're saying, Charlie the Unicorn? I hope not, but whatever. It's very strange. I don't know why. Why it's doing what it's doing. It's very, very odd. But anyway, yeah. So, but I can still see super chats as long as I get to them right away. If they go too far, then they disappear. So, if you want to send in super chats, either I or Dieter can see them. So,
okay.
Yeah. So there we go. So those are the discs that I thought worth mentioning for the week.
Totally. Something for everyone.
Absolutely.
Considering transfers and heat.
Transfers and heat, there you go. You know, I like transfers. Yeah. I'll tell you something. When I worked on Arcade, when we finished Arcade, I actually wrote 4 stories for the Arcade sequels. And one of them, when Arcade takes over the world, was called Death to Arcade, meaning Death DETH, and we wanted to do an Arcade Transfers crossover.
Ooh. So your own universe.
Yeah. that was back in the night. That was back in 93. 29 years ago. My God. Crazy.
So Rob, what did you get this week?
I just got the just these 2. Fistful of dollars, and for a few dollars more, that's it. That's all I got. Okay. The other discs I ordered haven't shown up yet. Don't know why. Okay.
I have one letter to read. It is from our friend David Kogel. And he said, "Dear Rob and Dieter, your show continues to offer great entertainment value, and many thanks for that. Today I wish to talk about a form of physical media that falls outside the realm of video, but still qualifies as legitimate fodder for discussion on your show. Sometimes I worried that it belongs on the endangered species list alongside films and TV on discs. I'm talking about books, of course. I have always related to the lawyer Samuel T. Cooley from Star Trek's Court Martial.
Cogley from the first season episode Court Martial.
Okay.
That they actually wrote a novel about.
Okay. And this collection of hardbacked legal reference books. Captain Spock knew the value of books too, and gave Admiral Kirk a hardcover edition of A Tale of Two Cities and In the Wrath of Khan. Highly logical. I sometimes worry that real books will become extinct. Yes, I understand the convenience of carrying digital copies of books on vacation or riding the train to work. But nothing is better than holding a real physical book, admiring the cover art, the smell of fresh ink in a new volume, and seeing your collection on your shelf. In these ways, books have much in common with the disc you and Dieter talk about on your show every week. I hope that real physical books never go away. Rob and Dieter, your show entertains but also inspires the imagination of the audience. This year, I began writing my big science fiction novel. Many things have inspired me to do so, and one source of inspiration is you and your show. I don't know what you put in your book from our show there, but okay. You may not realize the impact you have on other people in this life, but what you do create ripples that travel out into the world and make a real difference. Thank you for making a difference in my life. Keep up the good work. And of course, live long and prosper. Regards, David Kogan. Thank you, David, for your nice.
What a lovely letter,
Yeah.
David. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
that. You know,
And keep us posted considering your story that you are writing.
yeah, you know, it's what I find really inspirational is both on this channel and on the John Campea show. We hear from a lot of people that have been inspired to do things, you know, to go out and pursue whatever goals that they have. And I think there's no higher compliment that anyone can pay us, you know, than that. Because the thing is, we go around once, and like I've never, I don't know if this is something I got from my parents. It's never occurred to me to not do something because we might fail at doing it. I've never thought to myself, we shouldn't do this because we can't. You know, I've always been like, let's just do it. Like my entire life, even when I was a kid, like we should do that. Let's go. And there's I've met a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't do that. And I've never understood that. I'm like, why not? Like the thing is, if you don't do it, it won't get done. So I've always thought, let's just do that. Why don't we? You want to go do that? Let's do that. Because why not? But there's a lot of people that are either paralyzed by fear of failure and to me, even if you fail, you've still done it. Like, yeah, I did that. I've done so much shit that failed. I've been involved in so many projects that went nowhere. You know, I've done so many things that it didn't turn out the way I wanted them to turn out. But every one of those things, when you put but sometimes things have come out of them that you won't expect. You know, and it's great to hear. You know, we've been hearing a lot lately. I don't know why, but I guess it's the time frame that people started watching the John Campea show. People started watching it like when they were in high school, and now they're graduating from college, or they went to film school, or they were inspired to go do these things. Like, I think hearing that from David is such a great thing. And by the way, it is depressing to go. There's a lot of used bookstores here in California. You know, and there's a lot of books that I have. You can't see all the books behind me, but you will. I've got books all around me in my physical media and stuff. And when I go into used bookstores, I see a lot of the books that I have on my shelf already. You know, like film books that I've had for a long time. And you just know that when I'm no longer walking on this mortal coil, you know, these books will be given away to Goodwill, or they'll be you know, they'll find their way into used bookstores. And same with physical media. And people wonder, like, why does he have this movie? Why do you have this beautiful box set of Thriller: A Cruel Picture in 4K? Why? And I can't think about that. You just have to enjoy the things that you have while you have them. And
Exactly.
no, I love books. I don't like reading things on. I like the physical act of picking up a book and reading it. Maybe that makes me old school, but I'll tell you something. When you buy a book, it's a lot more real than just having something on your Kindle. And when you buy a book, it's there. And I think it demands of you that you pick it up and read it. I mean, I have a lot of books I haven't read that I bought, but
That's what it's there for.
that's right. And I know that if I downloaded as much stuff on Kindle as I've bought, I don't know if I would read half of it. But when you have a book staring you in the face, you're like, I'm going to pick this up and read it right now. I do that all the time.
And since we talk about books, strangely enough, I don't have a big special edition this week. I thought I put out a book this week.
Oh, I have
Star
that
Trek
book. Look at that.
You have that
That's
book,
so
okay.
wild to see that book in German.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly, Rob. This is the German one, which has really nice overhaul considering the first 4 shows.
Yeah.
Was nice. I really got back to it, Rob, and checked when the book came out here in Germany. It was 1995. I don't know when
Yeah.
it came out in the States.
Yep.
It's nice quality considering the size. So I thought, okay, as a special edition, why not a book?
Yeah.
The pictures are really awesome. And of course, I thought, probably Rob has a 2.
I
But
do
if
have
Rob
that book.
says the book, but if Rob says the book is okay, then
Oh, I buy every. I have every Star Trek reference book. Although, do you know what? I don't buy. I wouldn't buy. I mean, the book on. There's a really nice new hardcover coming out on the making of Wrath of Khan. I'll buy that. But I have no interest in buying any Star Trek reference books from 2009 on, other than the Reeves, other than the Okuda's Star Trek Encyclopedia, because it's no longer consistent. What made Star Trek reference books or art books or whatever like that so cool was they got into the lineage of everything, from the costumes to the ship design. All of that's gone out the window. The amount of different costumes they've had since 2009 and Discovery and even Strange New Worlds, the costumes on the Enterprise, Pike's Enterprise, have changed so drastically between Discovery to Strange New Worlds that it makes no sense. So, like, who cares? There is no lineage anymore, so I won't buy reference books like that. But that's a good one.
Wo bisher noch niemand gewesen war, is the German title of that book. Rob,
by the way, this
a little
lemonade
bit talk
is really
about what kind of lemonade is that?
I found Calypso. There used to be this lemonade I would buy, and I stopped buying. I'm sure there's so much sugar in this, but this is really good.
Rob, let's talk a little bit about the Black Adam trailer that got released. But I heard you've already seen it at the CinemaCon.
No, that was the new Black Adam trailer that came out this week.
This was a new one.
Yeah, the one that just came out. It was not what we saw. No, it was not what we saw at CinemaCon. It was different. I have to tell you, I was like
a little bit mixed from my perspective.
I mean, I looked at it and it's fine, but what I need from a trailer is some idea of the story that's being told. There was some cool images in the Black Adam trailer, but I'm like, what is this story? I have no idea. And okay, so there's Black Adam. He kills people, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson looks great. The big question I have is, why doesn't he have pointed ears? Black Adam has pointed ears. Why doesn't he did Dwayne Johnson not want to have pointed ears? And to me, I'm like, well, I can't. I'm like, come on, dude. You want to be Black Adam, but no pointed ears for you? Come on now.
Yes, here's the story, Rob. He's bad a little bit in the first part of the movie until he's not, And we get the climax, the CGI climax. Here's your story, considering Black Adam.
I mean, they've even got scenes where he's flying. He's flying with fighter jets by him, and I'm like, I saw that in Iron Man 1.
Yeah, and it looked not really great, Rob, considering the flying stuff.
I want it to be good.
Yeah, and I think, from my perspective, Dwayne has now such a big image as a bad guy and a good guy. I think this role would have been really better at the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
When he was not too put into some kind of storage. There was a great YouTuber, I think it was Adam Does Movies, he said in one review of Dwayne's movies, Dwayne has every shot you need in a portfolio that he did in front of a green screen in a mocap, so you can choose from the portfolio that he did, and you just put the scenes that you need in the movie in it, and you can do the rest stuff around it and later.
That's hilarious.
So that would be a nice portfolio.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So next week, MORBIUS comes out in 4K. You gonna buy it?
It will come out later here, Rob. I pre-ordered the steelbook here.
Oh, you already
I will.
Come on, man! Really? The Trash Panda? You're gonna buy MORBIUS?
The cover looks dope. Also, I like the cover of the steelbook.
Now, what about Ambulance?
But considering I didn't buy Fantastic Beasts, I should probably do the cancel stuff with Morbius too, but I haven't seen it, Rob. So considering Fantastic Beasts, I saw it and then canceled it, but Morbius I haven't seen, so I still have that little spark, that little hope. Perhaps it's not too bad. Okay.
So let me ask you something. You have Benedetta in 4K, don't you? Paul Verhoeven's Benedetta.
Yeah,
It's coming out.
exactly.
It's standard def here. Very upset.
Only standard def, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, not standard def on Blu-ray. It's not coming out in 4K.
On Blu-ray, yeah, no, but wasn't it a
very-
4K announcement?
I don't know.
Only?
I think it's no. I don't think it's 4K. It's
But as
IFC.
far as I told you, Rob, the German has English subtitles, as far as I know.
Yeah, I need to get it. You got to get that for me, man.
Yeah.
I got to get it because I can't deal with
Okay.
a 4K. Knowing a 4K is out there. Now, are you going to buy the Final Destination 5-film collection?
I probably have them all, Rob. Do they release them new?
No, they're just putting them in a box set next week.
Oh, okay. I probably have them all, Rob. So I don't need to get a box set. Considering before the show what I finished, Rob, considering streaming shows, totally loved it. I watched Hex, the second season on HBO Max. Totally had a great time with the second season.
Yeah, I was watching
they're
that with
doing a third-
Elizabeth. It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I hope they're doing a third season. But considering the ending, if they would cancel the show, it would not be the worst case scenario considering how the second season ended.
Right.
But I totally loved Hex. Great stuff for people who doesn't know about the show. Gene Smart plays an older comedian.
She's so
has lost-
good.
She's so good. She lost her residency at Las Vegas, and in the second season, she's going back to her roots, traveling on a tour bus through
Yeah.
the different venues.
She's
Totally-
doing like
totally
state
good. But you're-
fairs.
Yeah. But you're not through with the season yet.
No, I haven't watched the final
Okay.
episode.
Okay. But you were caught up with the lesbian cruise.
Oh
already.
yeah.
great stuff. And considering if you already seen the episode with Stay at the Fair, then you've seen the episode where they were in the shopping mall, and she says, "Okay, you can go buy some shoes, but not in the men's department." You know, she was walking away from her totally happy, yeah, but not in the men's department. She was moo. Totally great. I loved Hannah Einbinder as Ava.
Again,
Totally
that's
good.
just an example
Yeah.
of a really
Except-
well written show. You know,
Exactly.
and even the I was watching Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin and Frankie and I want to say Frankie and Johnny, but no, even that show. I mean, there's this is what bothers me about when both with Star Trek. Look, I will admit to you, I actually thought this week's episode of Strange New Worlds was pretty good, as far as the Star Trek episode goes. Mainly because they ripped off the conceit from Ursula K. Le Guin, a very famous Hugo. They're stealing. It's not even like they're trying to hide it. So the short story, "Those Who Walk Away from Umalos" is the name of the story, and it won the Hugo. Like, it won the Academy Award of Best Science Fiction Short Story. I think it's 1974. So they literally stole their plot from that short story. Now, I admire them for going through and stealing from the best, but it's like, give them credit. Like modern Star Trek is just randomly just lifting and stealing plot lines from authors, like stealing them wholesale. And there's a lot of stuff in modern, even in an episode I really, really liked. Overall, I really liked what they were doing. But the writing, the stuff they're doing throughout the series and how they're writing Lieutenant Uhura, I mean, she's training during a battle sequence. She actually shoots down an enemy combatant, killing people. It's like,
okay,
I'm
that's
like,
a new one for her.
She had no business. Like, you're looking at this going, how is this show so stupid? I mean, I liked the episode overall. I'm like, this could be with the character interplay, the storytelling, and all that. But man, the writers do some things where I find them unforgivably stupid. And why is it that Star Trek and Star Wars suffer from this same thing? because I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah.
When you can watch something like Hacks, and there's such wonderful writing in that show. I wish writers would understand when they write genre material. If you're going to write Star Trek and Star Wars, take the Star Trek and Star Wars out of your story when you write it. Write your story without Star Trek and Star Wars. Write a great story about a person, an individual, or multiple individuals. Write that great story. Then have somebody else infuse it with Star Wars or Star Trek. But, man, the writing on Star Trek and Star Wars is unforgivably awful.
Considering it was this great moment where she said, "Come, get in the car, get on the road with me," and she told her, "I sued you." She was suing her.
It's great.
Extremely great.
No, there's so much good stuff.
Should I get to the last pickups for this week?
Yeah, man, because I haven't seen a lot of trash from you. Don't you have anything really trashy?
No. Trashy. Let's see, Rob.
Show me some trash,
What
bro.
the rest of my haul this week will hold. The first one for me was not trash. This was great. A 4K media book, Rob, of Boss Level. Movie with Frank Grillo.
That movie rules.
Yeah, totally. From Joe Carnahan.
Yeah, Carnahan's the best. I mean, I have a soft spot in my heart for Joe Carnahan because I met him at the IFFM in 1997 when he had his first movie there, Blood, Guts, Bullets, and Octane. And I'm a huge fan of his. Really cool guy. I haven't seen him since, but I love that he, I want him to make more movies, make more. Yeah. I mean, the fact that this was a streaming film, it's fine, but I would look at that. It's a beautiful, beautiful media book.
Media book, 4K, Rob, from Boss Level. Had an awesome time with the movie. The next one, Rob, I have no idea. Perhaps you can help me out. Little cat in the bag. The movie is called The Last Broadcast.
I know that movie, but I've never seen. Okay. Oh, it's from 101 Films, another great
101.
Another great company. 101 Films is great. By the way, Martino Sumoni. Oh, there you go. Wow, that's beautiful. Martino Sumoni, Dieter, is in the chat right now. He just sent us a super chat. Now, for those of you who don't know, Martino makes Play Trek, the episodes of Play Trek that is on the Post-Geek Singularity channel. His latest episode, which is astonishing, just dropped. Wow, look at that. And he wants us to do some voiceover. Would you be willing to do
both of us? Not only you?
No, you. He wants us to do some. He wants a couple of sentences each. So I'd say, Martina, just throw them in the chat.
No problem.
So we'll record like the last broadcast. That's a great 101 Films does a great job.
Yeah, but I don't know really what it
By the way,
about, Rob, and it's only in 5:3 aspect ratio. So I have no, and it's only in mono the sound. But the movie is from 1998, something like that.
Yeah. By the way, I can't believe it. I forgot to mention one of the great upcoming releases that was announced this week. I forgot this. Okay. Check this out, bro. The Police Story trilogy from Eureka in 4K. Jackie Chan, Police Story 1, Police Story 2, and Police Story 3. I can't believe I forgot this. Check that out. These are great films. Every respectable film aficionado needs to have these in their collection. So I'm sorry. I totally interrupted you and derailed the whole thing.
No problem, Rob. You can always interrupt me for Jackie Chan and the Police Story movies. Great.
Forgot that.
So, of course, Martino Silmoni. We get voiceover.
Maybe he didn't mean for us to record them right now, but
exactly.
Oh, we could.
Send Rob an email. He could give me an email.
Yeah, Martino, if you want us to do
send
it.
the voice record via WhatsApp or something like that. But no problem.
I mean, I think that'd
be great. Next one up. Cat in the Bag, Japanese movie, Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes.
Wow. Now, who put that out? Is that another German media book?
German, yeah. Bush Media Company did that one. And it's probably something like a time loop movie. I have no idea. Cat in the Bag. And it's not that long. It's only 80 minutes. 80 minutes.
Wow.
Beyond the Infinite, 2 minutes. And then the last two, Rob, I'm really happy this week because I got a little postcard with it from our friends at Bridgeport, Vinegarland. So the first one is Miami connection.
Oh, there you go, buddy.
Oh, Vinegar Syndrome. Look at that, Rob.
And that's in 4K?
Exactly, Rob. That's it. That's not only a 4K remaster, that is in 4K, and it comes with 3 discs because it has Escape from Miami in it too.
Wow, okay, well, there you go.
So, Miami connection as 4K, and as always, the great hardcover outer box from Vinegar Syndrome. They're just the best. And the next one I already showed, and I didn't thought I would get it again, and then said, okay, I buy it again, and then you said, Rob, it's sold out, and now I'm happy that I did pull the trigger for, of course, Thriller, A Cruel Picture.
Nicely done.
Because you said the box is sold out at the moment. I don't know if they will
now
do some re-release.
Have you ever watched that movie, Dieter?
Yeah, I have the Severin Blu-ray,
Okay, you do.
Severin
That's what I have.
out. So I was thinking, should I get Thriller again? But look at that, Rob. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
You have the sturdy outer box. Then you have inside the 2 versions that came out in America, where you have the
the only thing that came out in America was They Call Her One Eye. Yeah.
Here you got that, Rob. Here you got
that
one.
Yeah. I mean,
and then you have, of course, different covers.
That's amazing.
There, Rob. And the movies are, and then inside Blu-ray and Ultra HD.
When I first watched that movie, I did not know that there was
banned.
Yeah. I did not know there was hardcore X-rated pornography in it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. When I first got it, because I'd heard They Call Her One Eye and Thriller: A Cruel Picture came out, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm old enough to not be at home, because if I was watching this when my mom came down, she would not be happy with me. Yeah, that's all great. Look at that. Come on.
And then, of course, a little different inside. What can you ask more? Vinegar Syndrome, once again, just killed it. With
so
this
good.
Release.
I mean, that movie's a little rough. I can't say that I love that movie. I love it. It's so good.
I love it.
It's such an uplifting. It's a movie that celebrates humanity.
No player. From Vinegar Syndrome, Thriller, A Cruel Picture. As far as
that's one of the things that they'll, when they come and see our physical media collections, that's one of the titles they'll skewer us for.
Yeah. Or perhaps they don't know about. Don't know about it.
Yeah.
That was my haul from this week. I thought
well, that's a respectable haul. I mean, if you're going to get some trash, Thriller: A Cruel Picture is the best kind of trash.
Yeah. And I did made a mistake. I would have one more, but I switched the delivery date. Unfortunately, wrong. It will come next week.
Nice.
So this was my haul. And other than that, Rob, I finished Operation Kraken. The Western Civilization is rescued. I finished Operation Kraken with Sniper Elite 5 this week. Finally. Get your Xbox ready. Come on, Rob.
Well, my Xbox is out of the box. It's over there.
Nicely, Rob. Nicely. Get that Game Pass, Rob, and do some sniping. Sniping, Rob.
No, for sure.
Because I don't know if you have watched the YouTube video that I sent you about the X-ray cam, considering the bullets.
No. But
then, Rob, don't watch it. Get that Game Pass for 1 month. Install Sniper Elite 5. Just do the little bit first, and you will see what bullet cam means. And considering games, Rob, this week. I'm really looking forward, but I will wait a little bit until the price drops. The Quarry is out. It's a game from the makers of Until Dawn. I don't know if you know the game Until Dawn. It's a horror movie where it's more like a quick event thing. So Until Dawn was the first one, really nice, like a horror setting in the 80s. And The Quarry is the new one, which came out this week, where you have different endings. People can die. I'm really looking forward to it, but I will wait a little bit until the price drops.
Right.
Because unfortunately, this is not in the Xbox Game Pass, The Quarry. But if you haven't played it, Rob, Until Dawn, probably at a Schnäppchen price now, really great, especially if you're a horror fan from the 80s.
Well, let me see. Am I a horror fan from the 80s? Am I?
But if you haven't played Until Dawn, nice recommendation from my perspective.
Nice. Well, that's good.
Considering Until Dawn is a game where I think other people even like to watch it along with you, considering how the story develops. It's more like a movie.
Well, that's good. I'm in. Count me in.
And you can have different variation how the story develops. If you trip on some quick time event, you lose a character. So perhaps not everyone will survive. So the story can take little time or longer. How further you will come. But Until Dawn, Rob, check it, Rob. It's probably at the Schnäppchen price.
I will definitely check that out. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Well,
and The Quarry came out this week.
Nice. Is that Xbox?
Both, Rob.
Okay.
PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, for every system. Or only not the Nintendo Switch is probably not. I don't think is included. But every else you can play The Quarry this week.
Well, that is good. I'm very excited. I'll definitely have to check that out.
And if you wanted to do Sniper Elite in co-op modus,
well, that's the thing. I gotta get now that I have a place where I can play games. I need to start doing that, like doing some co-op stuff and playing with all of you lovely people out there. That's what I need. Tom Jr. Jackson, by the way, says They Call Her One Eye is a great double feature with Mary Poppins.
Okay,
you're a terrible man. You're a terrible man, Tom Jr. Jackson. You might be goof people, but that's beyond the pale. That goes beyond goof. Beyond goof.
Unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, I think we're through.
Well, first of all, I want to thank our moderating staff. Lord Toth is here. Tom Jr. Jackson, Bunyan, Snipe, Justin Toner. Guys are here. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank everyone who supports the channel via Super Chats and tips. If we missed, it's so weird. I don't understand what is happening. I don't think we did miss any.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we.
Martino Salmoni was the last one.
Yeah, we caught up there, and I think I got all the tips as well. The tips show up, but it's really weird. Stream elements. I don't know what's going on. Everything's going. The world is falling apart, Dieter. Our technology is unreliable. And
I will see what my car dealership thinks about the damage tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I still don't understand how that was, because somebody backed right into the middle of your hood or something.
I have no idea, Rob.
How does that happen? Somebody was drunk. Come on.
Yeah. Drunk or perhaps a little bit sleepy after his night shift.
Maybe. Well, I mean, happy 70th episode. I can't believe we've done 70 of these. We've missed a few weeks, but still, we're deep into our second year, which is pretty amazing. I mean,
unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
And people still watch. So, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. I also want to give a shout-out to Mr. Mike Bawden, who does the Post-Geek Singularity website, he's killing it. And, of course, we're doing a road tripping podcast every morning when I drive to the John Campea show. We've started putting those up. I mean, I apologize for the audio quality. At first, it was sort of an affectation, but now it's just annoying for people. So maybe I'll actually buy a microphone, because in my car, I set my phone down and it connects through the Bluetooth system. I don't know if the system has maybe it's got a mic jack or something, but I need to figure that out. But thanks for listening, and people seem to enjoy it, so that's fun. So, yeah. And again, thanks for supporting the channel. To members, and there will be. I was going to do a member call, but Roberto Suarez is actually in Puerto Rico, so we'll do one next week. There will be a member call next week. We're a month behind, and then I'm gonna start doing them. I might start doing them every week, actually, because I got to step up. I don't want the channel to. I've been allowing it to sort of trickle away, and I don't want to do that. And people are like, Rob, don't let your channel die. And I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to bring back, Robservations will be a 5-day-a-week show. They might be, not 2 hours, and then we're going to bring back, because everyone wants it. I mean, people ask us about whining about movies all the time. And we're going to bring it back. So that's what we are going to do.
Awesome.
And on that note, one day I'll get this computer so I can actually use my graphics again. I miss our theme song. And I miss our opening and closing graphics. But we'll get back to it. I'm slowly working my way up.
Slowly building.
Coming back. Slowly but surely. Dieter, I want to thank you for another good show. We will be back next Sunday with Let's Get Physical Media. Hopefully I'll have more discs to show. Not the trash pandas, usual haul, but something more respectable that offsets
what can you do?
Our tastes. And I think I will, by next week, I think I will have a collection video where I'm actually going to show my collection so people can see it, because people keep asking. I keep putting new discs. I mean, I got 8 of those new frames for and I'm putting them around.
They're awesome, yeah.
They're pretty awesome. They're really, really cool.
Yeah.
So, although they don't fit some of my thicker special editions, but that's okay.
Ooh.
But on that note,
have a nice week, everyone.
Live long and
forget
prosper.
To watch The Boys.
Watch The Boys. Come on, Justin. Come on, Tom. Watch The Boys. Why are you not doing this? And on that note,
see you next week.
See you next week. All right.